So I finally got a couple days off, but because life is hilariously cruel, as I was driving home to start that 2 days off, my alternator stopped working and stranded my car. It's being fixed right now, waiting for the call from the guy. Then I'm going to have to start this 15-mile trek over to get it. But I just thought, hey, it's been a while since I did a video. As I take my daily dose of philosophy medicine, I'll philosophize a little. And if those bastards take too long to do my alternator, maybe I'll look and see if I can make another video. You know, one that's actually good, unlike this one, which is going to suck pretty bad. So it occurred to me that it's probably ill-advised to just simultaneously quit a number of crippling addictions while you're working 80-something hours a goddamn week, right? I think quitting a bunch of addictions at once is a luxury for people who aren't being worked to death. Even a Cadillac of men such as myself can only take so much strain, so I started smoking the cigars again. Not drinking, though, so small victories. Oh, and I don't look like a hobo living in a gutter, so I mean, that's also to the positive. However, I digress. To the philosophy. Empowerment. What is empowerment? I've been thinking about this because of the feminists always talking about empowerment. Although they do talk about rape several orders of magnitude more, but let us not digress, as I said. Well, if I wanted to know what empowerment meant in a feminist context, you might say, why don't you just go ask a feminist? Well, this ain't my first rodeo, Haas. Their response is predictable and frustratingly unhelpful. They'll give you some sort of definition for empowerment with a lot of fuzzy words, but enough syntax and English and shit that you will easily be able to point out that this definition is incongruent with the actions of feminists, even when those feminists say that they are trying to promote empowerment. When you point out that the very laws that govern reality prove for a fact that this bitch is talking bullshit, no matter how politely you do it, by the way, then she'll say something like, we don't need another cis white man in this conversation telling us what's what. And it's like, listen, I'm just saying, laws of reality, they're saying what, that's bullshit. Perhaps I'm just stupid. Could you explain it to me? You know, I'm not very bright. No matter how you put it, they'll immediately go to the emotional shaming. Like, are you crying? Are you crying because the men's aren't getting enough attention? Stuff like that. The hilarious irony of them doing that is that feminists also go around spouting, you know, it's terrible that men are shamed for showing their emotions. And you go and just ask some simple questions, apply the tiniest amount of scrutiny so that feminism, as usual, unravels like a cheap suit in the rain, then the emotional shaming just comes instantly. Oh, we want to eliminate, you know, shaming men for having emotions. Oh, you crying because the men ain't getting enough attention? And of course, it's even more ironic because I'm not crying. I don't even think I can cry anymore. You know, when you get older, you dry up. And I think it starts at the top. Like, I can't cry, and eventually I'll be shooting blanks as the drying up gets lower. This is just the most stream of consciousness video. I should stop it and collect my fucking thoughts. Nor I could waste everybody's time. I mean, I've been working a lot, so I'm feeling a little bit like an asshole. Maybe I will just waste everybody's time. United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador, too, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Honduras, and still Guatemala, Bolivia, then Argentina, and Ecuador, Chile, Brazil, Costa Rica, Belize, Nicaragua, Bermuda, San Juan, Paraguay, Uruguay, Suriname. No, I should collect my thoughts. So I was watching a Sandman video, and it was about women getting pregnant from one-night stands and how he found like a website or something advising women how to do this and what criteria they use to get pregnant from a one-night stand. And how all of these women were like, well, I look for good breeding stock, you know, nice teeth, good hair, you know, healthy, yada, yada, yada. And Sandman was saying, that he'd be embarrassed to admit that. And it's like, well, these women, the one and only thing they're trying to accomplish here is to breed. So you can see the logic of using good breeding stock for for fucking breeding. But and then I got into an argument in the comments section, as I tend to do, with some of the hardcore Sandman MGTOWs. And they have a tendency to view the world in terms of like alpha, beta, omega males, and that shit. And they harp on like, oh, if a guy doesn't have high status, have a lot of money. But I found a way to tie together how they're viewing the world incorrectly and this particular video where they're saying these women are stupid for choosing by these criteria, which are, of course, the best possible criteria, for breeding. Why don't I get that good breeding stock? Anyway, you're looking at it from the perspective of an inferior individual. Good genes sell themselves. Don't think of it like alphas and betas. These guys with the high status, yeah, they also get the high status bitches. But if they don't have good genes, then that woman will be fucking around and finding some guy with plenty of testosterone, gorgeous hair, not a penny to his name, funny and smart, and she's gonna have his kid. She's gonna have her high status alpha male raise that kid. Good genes sell themselves. Alpha, beta, omega, or any other motherfucking dead language letters you want to come up with. Doesn't matter. The reason people succeed, generally, is because of insecurity. They feel like they're not worthwhile unless they have all of this status. But those people who just don't give a goddamn, what your MGTOW buddies would describe as psychopaths or borderline criminals, they don't have to give a fuck because they have good genes. They don't have to be all fucking risk averse to survive. Those motherfuckers gonna survive. They don't have to have a penny to their name. And those are the women, focus. The secret to all of this being, there's two kinds of men in this world. The men the women want to fuck and bear the progeny of, and then the man to raise that child and take care of them. One man really can't be both. And all of these MGTOWs also tend to look at things in terms of relationships. If you're the guy that's, getting hitched with the woman, being all supportive and loving, you have the girlfriend experience, the wife experience, well, maybe the first kid will be yours, but she's gonna start fucking around on you with some fucking worthless degenerate like me who has not a nickel to his name and no moral code to speak of and no fucks to give about anything. Even though, status-wise, I know turds with better status than me. But I'm not saying I have good genes, but I think women believe that I do. Carry on. Ah, damn it, I'm not doing a response video. So I've been so busy I haven't been keeping up on the YouTubes and Twitter drama, and oh my god, Gamergate. If Gamergate was a person, I'd fucking burn its eyeballs out with this cigar. I'd hate it so much. Just go away, Gamergate. Go the fuck away. Leave a vacuum that something more interesting will flow into, for fuck's sake. But I did see that Hannibal the Victor did a video to Thunderfoot, and Thunderfoot actually responded. Now, I'm gonna give this to Hannibal the Victor 13. That's some good work, getting a big name like Thunderfoot to respond to you when you say nothing of any merit whatsoever. I don't even know how many subs you have. I think it's fewer than me, even though you've been here since Ike was in office, so... you're a nobody, and then you get Thunderfoot to talk to you. Pretty soon you're probably going to get Richard Dawkins calling you a spaz. It's a gift, man. Anybody talking about you that's a good thing, man. You got mad PR skizzles, I suppose, is what I'm saying. So anyway, empowerment. Of course, it's an illusion, Empowerment is really not the feminist thing. To me, just you have choices, and the choices you make matter. Realistically, let's not be infants. There's no such thing as free will. It's so silly and at times annoying that philosophers, YouTube philosophers, have this discussion like fate, free will, determinism, blah blah blah. Listen, there's no such thing as free will. You just need to get that stupid shit out of your head. It is as ludicrously grandiose as plankton believing that they command the very ocean which holds them. You're a lunatic if you believe that free will is an actual thing that exists. But it's useful to pretend that it does, and insofar as we can make a difference, well, that our choices do make a difference is empowerment. So, when we have feminists saying, it shouldn't matter what a woman wears when she goes out, well, that's not empowering by definition. What you need to say is, listen, you have choices to make, and you can make them. You can make any old choice you want. And there's going to be consequences to those. Your choices matter. If you dress in this way, might attract a predator. Not saying you deserve it. That's the choice you made, and that's what you get. But if you make the other choice, that might not happen. Your choices matter. You're empowered. You go, girlfriend. But no, it's, no. Whoa, we gotta get the men to put the kibosh on this whole situation. You know, maybe some he for she up in this bitch. All we gotta do is gotta get men to stop making rape jokes. It's always about men doing shit. That's not empowering. The men, they already have the privilege of empowerment and choice. They don't need to make more choices. They're already empowered enough. Their choices matter as much as they're going to. It's women that need the empowering, so why are we telling them that their choices mean nothing? Same thing goes with this whole influence by the media. Like, women look at these magazines and they feel shame and hatred for their own body up to 37 times a minute while thumbing through these fashion magazines. We gotta put an end to this. Feminism's gotta just put an end to this shit. How's that empowering? Your mind is so very weak that just whatever you see just like triggers emotions, and that's just like something that can't be helped or controlled. And you also gotta look at the magazines even though they make you feel like shit. It's not empowering. It's basically saying that you're an automaton with the computing power of a 1980s calculator. It's pretty insulting. If I were a woman, I would probably like punch feminists for insulting my intelligence. Just throwing that out there. You know, I might alienate quite a few of the people who watch my videos with this, but I've taken some truth serum and I cannot tell a lie. This is more about Sandman's subscribers. And Sandman, of course, can't be held accountable for this. People gravitate to who they gravitate to. Fuck, should I redo that? Should I shoot this again? Fuck, that'd be a lot of work. I'd rather fucking die. Anyhow, I get this real impression from a lot of Sandman followers. It's a little bit like waiting for the nerds to rise. The last will become first. Like, oh, we nerds will have our day. Pretty soon, women will be crawling all over the nerds. Just the impression I get. And when people call MGTOW an ideology, I can see exactly why they'd say that, because a lot of, again, I just noticed this on Sandman, among Sandman's followers, but Sandman's one of the few MGTOWs that I actually watch his videos. I find his perfect iambic pentameter that he delivers his speeches in, it's just hypnotic and soothing. Perfect iambic pentameter. How many people do you know that just go blank verse and shit all over the place? I don't even know if he knows that he's doing it, or if he's read poetry extensive. Fuck, I'm drifting. Ah yes, the Sandman nerds. Now, here's some characteristics of an ideology that I see among some of his followers. So, I go and watch one of his videos, and it's about what I was talking about earlier, that fantasy of the nerds finally achieving supremacy while all of the alphas are cast by the wayside or something. It just seems like a total nerd vendetta fantasy, like that movie Revenge of the Nerds, only on a global scale. God damn it, why did I not turn off my phone? So I say that to Sandman, quite frankly, because we're buddies. I feel like I should say, here's what this sounds like, like a nerd revenge fantasy is all I'm saying. So immediately, some of the Sandman followers just come up and they start using emotional buzzwords of ideological lingo. It's a pretty big sign of an ideology. Sort of like when you go and you talk to feminists about anything, that they'll start, as part of the ideological immune response, spitting emotional buzzwords to shut off the critical regions of people's brains if they're infected by that ideology. So they say, oh, you are a misogynist. Brain successfully shut off by emotional buzzword. Anyway, back to Sandman's video. They're like, oh, you try that alpha male crap in here, blah, 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 and just another bunch of fucking rhetoric from this whole, I'm going to go ahead and call it an ideology. Which is why I'm going to say, of course I'm not a MGTOW. I'm way better than that. Way better. Orders of magnitude better. Yeah, you heard me, I'm saying it. I cannot tell a lie. Truth serum. I'm sorry. You have a little ideology, I'm assuming. Fuck it. And when they just start coming out of nowhere spitting buzzwords. Ideology. Should I end this video? It's been pretty fucking rambling. Topics for videos in the future? God damn it, call about my car. I don't want to be without a car. Scrub is guy who thinks he's fly, also known as a buster. Always talking about what he wants, but it sits on his broke ass. No, I don't want no scrub. Anyway, I need a fucking car. I don't want to be no fucking scrub. Anyway, have a nice day.